From the creator of XenonBot and Message.style, in this video I'll take you from zero to hero with Kite, a completely code-free Discord bot and user bot creator with AI support. This thing's really cool and I'm hyped to show you in this quick sponsored guide. So let's dive straight into it. In the description down below you'll find a link to Kite.onl where you can simply just sign in the top right with your Discord account as such, where you can immediately jump in and start creating your app. I'll make a new app here, for which we'll need a bot token. If you've never created a Discord bot before, it's super simple. Either click this question mark here for a text version for this portion of the guide, or head across to discord.dev where you can sign in with Discord and get going immediately. Simply click New Application in the top right, then we'll need to name our app or bot. I'll call it TC's Command Bot, tick this box, and create. After you've confirmed you're human, we can begin customizing our bot here. I'll start by clicking the image and uploading a picture just so we can see our bot more easily. You can do a bit more customization here, but that's up to you. Scroll down on this page and make sure the interactions endpoint URL is empty as such. Then head across to bot on the left hand side, where we'll need to scroll down here to these little tick boxes, and we need to make sure a few things are ticked. Presence intent needs to be ticked here, as well as server members intent and message content intent. Once all three of these boxes are ticked, click Save Changes. Basically, if you make your bot public and more than 100 servers use it, you'll need extra approval and verification from Discord themselves. But if you're adding this to just your own server or a few servers, it doesn't really matter. Once you've done this, scroll all the way back up to the top and choose Reset Token over here. This generates our first token for this bot, so we can start using it. You may need to authenticate, which after you have, you'll be given a token here. Keep this token safe. This token gives anyone with it access to your bot. Click copy here, and we'll be pasting that into the Kite site right here. Create app. Now we can open our app here and get customizing. This is the dashboard where you can see message throughput, event listers, commands, and things like that, as well as your monthly usage of credits. Now, before you click off, these credits are only really used for chatting with AI at 5 credits per execution and sending API requests at 3 credits per execution. Most other actions take 1 credit per execution, so with 10,000 for free, especially if you're on a smaller server, you can get customizing real in depth and get it used quite a bit before this is something you actually need to worry about. Assuming you need to upgrade, head across to the Premium tab on the far left, and here you'll see some information about how many credits you get for different values. For now, we'll head across to the Settings tab on the far left and customize our bot a bit more. Here you can start and stop your bot if you wish. Scroll down, we can customize the bot's appearance. I'll leave the name as is, and I'll say this bot does some things. I'll save this, then scroll down, add a custom status if you wish, for which I'll say online, and it'll display as playing, or rather watching, let's say troubleshoot with the activity URL of my YouTube page. I'll update the status, and as soon as we add the bot to our server, we'll see this as what it's doing. At the very bottom, you can change your Discord token, edit collaborators if you wish for more people to edit this bot, and finally delete your app if you see fit. Speaking of adding the bot to your server, how do we actually do anything with this? Well, head back to the Dashboard tab in the far left, and then on the far right, choose Invite App right here, followed by Add to Server or Add to Account if you wish to use these / commands in private chats and things like that. I'll add this to a server for now, and then all we need to do is choose the correct server and continue. We can then customize permissions. I'll leave it as admin so it has access to everything, authorize, and just like that, it should be added to our Discord server. If we have a look, yeah, it's been added right here. As you can see, watching troubleshoot, great. The final piece of setting up your Discord bot is the Explore tab over here, where you can see different servers that this bot is connected to, for which we can remove it from, or we can add emojis here for the bot to use. Finally, if you need, there's also a log section where we can see different commands that will run, etc. For now, let's actually make this bot do something. Head across to the command section under Studio on the far left. Let's start by creating a really simple auto response command where we type something and we get a response back. I'll create a new command here. We can give it a name, which is essentially the command that comes after the slash. So for /YT, I'll simply enter YT here. For that reason, there also can't be spaces, capital letters, or special characters. For the description, I'll say returns troubleshoots channel. I'll create the command, and now we get dropped into this fancy node editor. This may look very confusing, but it's actually super simple. In this big block, you'll have your control flow where something happens, it links to another action, to another one, etc. This way, we don't need to worry about coding at all. Instead, it's just drag and drop. On the far left, you'll see this sidebar has different actions, such as responses, messages, member management, roles, variables, and other actions. On the control flow tab, we have conditions, loops, and others, such as wait. And on the options tab, we can handle arguments, permissions, and things like that. For now, as we're making a super simple autoresponder, when someone types /YT, we expect the bot to respond with here's a link. So I'll create a message response, one of the simplest actions here, drag it in, and now we can link these two together. When the bot receives /YT, it'll then point to this here. Very simple, very self-explanatory. We can then, on the far left, set up a text response. You can use this button here to mention certain variables like the user's name and things like that. I'll say, hey, followed by the user's @, so I'll click the variables button and we'll say user mention, full stop, here's a link, colon, followed by the actual link itself. So this will just be a simple plain text link. If you need, you can make this bigger to see what's going on a bit better. If you have public response ticked, everyone will see this. Otherwise, unchecking this means that only the sender will see response. This can help declutter a server. I'll then choose Save Changes in the very top left, and once we've done so, inside of Discord, after a minute or so, we should now be able to use this command. We'll need to wait a second, maybe refresh Discord, and as you can see, we've now got our bot showing up here with the command /YT. If we run this command, which doesn't need any arguments, bam, the bot should respond to us privately with a link here. Only you can see this. Perfect. Let's take this simple command a bit further. If we go to event listeners, here we can customize things to happen automatically whenever the bot sees something happen. We can create a new event, we'll call it autoresponder, source will be Discord, event will be, say, message create. Once we make this, it'll start listening to messages that are sent in different channels that the bot can see. Let's see. Control flow, comparison condition. This allows us to create a very simple if or else. I'll link listen to a message to here, for which we'll need to make sure inside of the base value, I'll use the variable button, scroll all the way down, and here we can see message. Let's say if the message content, looking down to match condition down here, is equal to or contains, preferably, the word YouTube, then it'll do whatever we link this side to. We can choose else over here and link this to something else, or just nothing if we wish to ignore it. Then, scrolling down, let's make a response here. So, actions, let's say create channel message, where the channel that this responds to should be inside of the variables right here. I'll expand this and we'll search for channel. As you can see, the channel ID appears here of our event, which is defined by this very top block. Then we can use a message template, which I'll get to in just a moment, and we can set up a simple text response if we see fit. I'll say, here's a link, followed by, say, my YouTube. Once we've done this, we'll link match to this. So, looking at our overall flow, essentially, when we receive a message, or this bot hears a message, it'll then check to see if the event message content matches, as in contains the word YouTube. Then it'll send a message to the same channel that the event originally happened in that contains this text here. Let's fix that typo. If we go ahead and save the changes here, now whenever we go back to Discord and send some messages, things work as usual. But if we say, what is your YouTube? Just like that, the bot automatically responds as we said the magic word YouTube. Here's a link, followed by a link. Great. Let's make this look a bit fancier, shall we? Let's have a quick look at message templates. Simply click the plus over here where we can create a new message template, and I'll say fancy embed. Description, this is a fancy embed. Creating our message, we can now come in here and customize this message template. Doing so opens up a new tab for fancy embed, and here we can get real clever with it. So our message template, we'll customize this to be, say, you requested my YouTube channel, here you go. And we can even use variables here as well, such as interaction variables like user ID who interacted with this command, things like that, or event variables such as when the bot's triggered by receiving a message instead of the user running a slash command, we can mention the username, things like that. I'll say @the user. Then we can add attachments such as files and things like that. In the embed section, we can add an embed here and get to customizing this little block here. This is super detailed, and I've previously covered all that you need to know in the original message.style creator, where you could create these rich text messages. It's pretty much exactly the same. Let's start by minimizing these just to make it less confusing, and we'll start with author. This is the author of this embed. Let's say autorespond bot URL if we want to make this title clickable. For now, I'll leave it as is, and we can upload an image, for example, this one right here. Then for the body of the message, let's say add a title, troubleshoots channel, description, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll add a link here to my channel, making this header clickable. We can then change the color of the message, which is this sidebar. Let's make it a nice, deep purple. We can add an image down here if we wish to customize things further. I'll add a nice banner, for example. You can change the thumbnail URL if you wish, or remove it entirely, which is what I'll do. In the footer section, we can add some extra info like this was an auto response sent by Kite.onl, and it'll appear down here. I'll skip a timestamp, URL, and in the field section, we can add a new field, which is essentially just a new section above. So for example, test section, this is some text, and we can add a new field like field 2. Hi there, this appears right here. For now though, I'll skip these as that's unnecessary, and let's finally add a button at the very bottom if you wish. So I'll add a button row, and let's make a button that has the color of green. We can add an emoji here such as that face. I'll add no text, and let's do something fun with this. In this bottom section, you can get real crazy. Here, we've got a response to a button click that we can do everything in once more. So at this point, you could say, make this button say, give me a role. In which case, clicking down here, clicking this button, scrolling down, add role to member, dragging it in, we can give the same user ID, a target role, which is heading to our Discord, editing server settings, making a new role right here, goober, giving it a color, there we go, displaying separately, saving changes. All we need to do now is right-click the role and copy the role ID, which we can mention here, audit log reason, which appears in the server's audit log. I'll leave this as clicked a button, and we'll leave everything as is. So when the button's clicked, linking these two together, we add a role to the member, and we can send a message afterwards saying, let's say, create a response, linking these, welcome to your new role, comma, and we'll add the user's name. So for example, the username. I'll leave it as public. Now we can close this, and our new button has these actions attached to it. Let's go ahead and save our changes in the top left. Let's head back to the app, and now we're back in our message templates tab. Here we can manage our different message templates, such as this fancy one here, create new ones, etc. But let's go back to the event listeners tab, edit our autoresponder, and instead of sending a plain text message, let's actually send our fancy message we called fancy embed. We can now save changes here and head across to Discord to test things. Inside of Discord, we'll say, YouTube please, bam, we now get our fancy response over here. Let's go ahead and click our button and see if things work. And welcome to your new role, troubleshoot. If we go ahead and check our perms, we now have the goober role attached to us, and settings, server settings, followed by audit log. We've got an updated role here with reason, clicked a button. Sweet. This is just an example of how powerful this thing is. Not only did I make an autoresponder that responds to the word YouTube, but it also has a button attached that gives me a role or does one of many other things available here. This tool is super powerful, and you've barely seen it work at all. Let's take a step back, after saving that is, and let's make a new command here. As such, we will call it chat. Description, talk with AI. Create a command, and now, inside of here, let's do something fancy. So, right now the user will type /chat, and we can give a response. Let's ask the user for something a bit more. In the options section, let's add a command argument, which is essentially what they type after /chat, and this one will be message. description, enter your message for AI here. Argument type, we're looking for a text message. This is required. Let's link these two together. Now, whenever someone types /chat, they'll get prompted to add a message as an argument. You'll see this in just a moment. We'll then add, under actions, all the way at the bottom, chat with AI. Here we can do something really cool, though keep in mind this will use some of your tokens more than the rest of the options. The chat command links with chat with AI, and this chat with AI command has a system prompt where we can tell the AI to respond in a specific way. Let's say you are a mocking robot that mocks the user by responding with every second letter capitalized. Then the prompt that the AI will actually respond to is in this next block. Let's add here a variable that says interaction command args message. The message argument that we added at the very top is attached here. So once we've done this system prompt is used, followed by this bit of text to get a response from AI. Closing this, let's scroll down and add an output here by messaging the channel. As such, linking these two, text response will be variable, the chat with AI result. As you can see, nodes.peachessmile sounds a bit weird. This Peaches Smile text comes from clicking the previous node right up here. This is the auto-generated ID that this node has been given, Peaches Smile. That's fine. So back to this message, it includes the result from this previous node and sends it publicly. Perfect. Let's go ahead and save this. And right now, assuming we refresh, now we can enter /, where we should now see that our bot has a brand new chat command that requires message. So if we type /chat, it's now asking for a message over here, and this message will be, hey there, what is your name? When we hit enter, Kite reaches out to an AI provider and a response is given. So, hey there, my name is Mockbot, what's your question? We've got a response right here. That's pretty cool. Let's customize this a bit so the AI says, you're bothered by everyone? Ask the user to leave you alone, creatively, save changes, and now let's /chat saying, I'm bored, what can I do? Let's see what the AI says. If you're bored, why not consider walking your pet cat? Check your social media for the millionth time. Really just get alive. I'm so tired of people asking for help. Just leave me alone, will you? Fantastic. Absolutely terrible interaction, and that's exactly what I planned for. This could not have gone better. So yeah, what an incredibly powerful tool. Not to mention shared variables, which is pretty cool. Here we can make a new variable that can store info or data across commands. Let's say storage. We'll create the variable, and now we can start using it. Currently it's storing 0 value. If we, for example, in our chat command, manage and add a new block down here that sets a variable, linking these two, this variable, our storage variable, which we can also create here, operation, will add to it a value like the original message. We can then close this, save our changes, and when the chat command is used again, we get a response, obviously, but our variable now stores one value. This value can be accessed elsewhere. So let's say commands, create a command, last message, sends the last AI message, will respond with, here was the last message, followed by the variable that we just set. We can't reference it here directly. Instead, we need to add a get variable block as such and put it between these two. I'll cut this as such, draw to here, then draw to here. This get variable grabs the storage variable, and we can now reference it in our message. So, variable options, result of this previous node called bats break, which you can see up here, should be sent out. So let's save our changes, head back to Discord, /last message, and now we can see the last message, which was this over here. This was previously used in our last chat command. If we send a new /chat message, hey there, now when we use /last message, you can see the first bit of text with the second bit of text attached here. Obviously, we're appending these two together. We can instead set the variable by using overwrite instead of append, so they're not stuck next to each other. There's also an increment command here, which is pretty cool. If we instead use our YouTube autoresponder in event listeners, here we go. After it responds with our channel, let's set variable, link the last one to this, and let's say our variable, new variable, is times linked. Create variable, operation, increment by 1. Now when we save our changes and someone says, what's your YouTube? It responds and adds 1 to this times linked. Now let's actually do something with this. So we've now got the number of times that this message was sent. Let's actually use this in a new message. So get variable, let's get the number that we've now stored here. So times linked, send a new message, that says to the event channel. By the way, this command has been used something times, and this something will be a variable, linking these two together, the get variable result times. So by the way, you're the somethingth time. We can now save our changes, and when a user says YouTube, a response is sent that says this command's been used 2 times, YouTube 3 times, 4 times, and so on. That's pretty cool. And with all of this, even though it seems a bit confusing, I've barely scratched the surface. Use this to manage people on your Discord, give them warnings. Heck, you could do practically anything with this bot. The power is almost limitless. Finally, in the templates section, you can add some default templates if you're stuck, like an auto welcomer that says, welcome to whoever just joined your server, by clicking view details and giving it a channel to send messages to. So for example, right-clicking general, copying channel ID, pasting in here, import. Now we've got an event listener that when a guild member is added, so someone joins your server, it sends a message to this channel with welcome the user to your server. Assuming someone were to join, they'd get the standard welcome message like you've seen thousands of times before. So asking my fiance to join, there you go, the bot sent a message, welcome Mish to the server. Fantastic. Finally, at the very bottom, you'll find documentation and support should you need further help. Again, a huge thank you to Kite.onl for sponsoring this guide. As you can see, I've barely scratched the surface of my credits used. You can definitely use this for yourself and your close friend group way more than you'd think without even needing to worry about this. It's super powerful what you have access to completely for free just by giving it a bit of your time and thinking logically. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you all for watching. Mine's been Troubleshoot, and you'll find a link to this down below. I'll see you all next time. Ciao.